I called the doctor and I was like, I
Okay.
need help. And, he actually thought I was homeless because
Okay.
I looked that bad. Like I wasn't taking care of myself. I was physically shaken up. And I remember going back, a year later after I've done the yoga certification and the Reiki certification. And he said to me, he's like, you've changed.
What's up, everyone? This is Kunal here from Motivation Every Day, and today we have an amazing guest with us, Tina Boknevitz, and she's a yoga instructor, Reiki practitioner, and a crystal healer. So, Tina, tell us something about yourself, how you got into it, and about your journey.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Tina and well, what I really like to do is I help people build spiritual practices, even if they failed before, they think they don't have time, because I found it to be very beneficial when I was going through a very difficult time. And that is, I had this job and I was, I'm pretty young. I was like 22, 23. And I had this job and I'd go into work and I'd just be filled with anxiety on the way there, during work. It was very toxic. And I'd get home and it's like I wouldn't leave work. I was still at work because I was mulling over the day and, it was like haunting me. And I couldn't be present with, my family because I was still at work in my mind.
Yeah.
So that's really what led me to find a better way because I thought this isn't it. I can't be this young and be so unhappy. Like this can't be the rest of my life. So I at that point I had been practicing yoga a little bit, and in that I found these little kind of seeds of peace, and I wanted to expand that and grow on it and really live in that peace. So that's really what led me to the first thing was the yoga teacher training. So I just dove right into that. And that was the first tool in my toolbox. And I started feeling better. And then I did the Reiki training and I started even feeling more, even greater. So it was just kind of kept rolling on from there. And now I get to do my dream job of, helping people with their spiritual practices. And yeah, it's been great.
So, it basically began with yoga, right?
Yeah, it all started with yoga. I'm a yogi at heart.
So it was more like you were young and you were stuck in a job that you didn't want to do, and from there you led your path. I mean, people go through a lot of pain and troubles in their life. So do you think that yoga is the answer to all of those, anxiety and everything?
I mean, I think it's one answer.
Okay.
Everybody, of course, and will have different things, but I think when it comes to yoga um, and meditation, I think absolutely everybody should be meditating every single day, and everybody can. I think it can be hugely beneficial because what it does is it truly makes us look within and validate from within
Yeah,
because right now everyone's looking towards external sources between
exactly.
social media and all the technology that we have for validation, and
Yeah.
that's a road that leads nowhere. We have to be happy with who we are inside and validate from within, to be truly satisfied in life. And when you're doing things like yoga or meditation, or I'm not, I don't teach Tai Chi, but it's very similar to yoga. When we're doing mindfulness practices
Okay.
like that, we're really forced to get quiet. And that's another thing. The world is so noisy. We're forced to get quiet, and we have to look at what's working and what's not working, and that we can find out where we want to go, who we want to be in this world, and what type of life we want to lead.
Mm. I think that the point when you said that practice mindfulness, when you are quiet and sitting alone. I mean, people sometimes use mobile apps right now, to practice yoga. There are a lot of apps out there that helps you meditate and stay calm. Do you think those help? And I mean, or people should be turning off the devices when they're meditating or doing yoga or any other practice? I mean, is it necessary to turn off all the devices basically?
Yeah, it's I personally do use, I mean, even myself, I do use meditation apps because
Okay.
it's convenient
Okay.
and it's a gateway in. And, we can use technology as a friend and we can use it as an escape. So I'm just choosing to use it as the friend,
Okay.
because people don't necessarily know how to get into these practices. And if you can download something really easy like an app and start that way, I think that's a good gateway, a good stepping point where people can do it. So, I mean, meditation apps, yes, use them. All you have to do is turn off notifications
Mhm.
for that time for Facebook
Mhm.
or Instagram or whatever you're using, so you can just focus on the meditation.
Yeah.
So it can be done with apps and it can be hugely beneficial. And right now, especially because we're not able to go into physical classes with each other in many places around the world, it can be a great resource. If you were to do it for a physical practice like yoga, I still think it's beneficial. And I still think it can be a great gateway for people. You just want to be a little bit more mindful of what your body is telling you because you
Exactly.
don't have an
Hmm.
instructor,
Yeah.
correcting your positions. So you really have to listen to your body. And when it says maybe this is too much, then you pull back. But yeah, I think it's a great stepping stone. I think it can be a great gateway. And I still use them because I find it beneficial to me.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
about the choices, I guess. I mean, if you're using it for validation, that's not gonna help. But if you're using it as a friend and that's helping you meditate and stay grounded, that's important. And I think that people right now need to stay grounded. I mean, we're going through a stressful time right now, COVID-19, and so how do you think that people can be benefited from yoga or meditation or any other practice during this time? I mean, how important it is to do it right now?
Yeah. Well, firstly, although it's very unfortunate what's happening with the world, it is a great opportunity for people to start practices like this because we are at home and we have a little
Yeah.
bit more time. So we're able to explore. So that is one little positive thing. But it really does help because the world is moving, although we're at home,
Yeah.
it's still moving very fast in the sense of, fears just gripping everybody and the what ifs gripping everybody and when am I going to get out? So our mind is going about 10 times faster than it
Yeah.
normally would with these thoughts. And when you're doing mindful practices like meditation and yoga, you get the chance to slow down. It's
Yeah.
really your regrouping point. So you can just kind of separate yourself, even if it's for 5 minutes a day, from the busyness of the mind and all the what ifs and all the negativity, and just to regroup and reground. So you can, and when you do that, you're more easily able to focus on your goals and the achievements. And again, where do you really want to take your next step? So I think it's just important to regroup from the chaos of our mind
Exactly,
right now.
exactly. So there's this thing that's going on in my mind that people try to, people have some inner vacuum within themselves that, something from the past that is bothering them a lot. So when you were in your job, so how did you get out of it? How did you, find your inner self? How did you align your soul through these practices?
Yeah, it's I mean, now everybody's journey is differently, but from what I have seen in my personal growth and a lot of my clients' growth, is it's almost like peeling the layers away from an onion. So, we have this external shell, which is, our what we consider our jobs or
Mhm.
what other people see, and that's usually the first kind of layer to peel back. And I guess, yeah, that's really the best way I can explain it. It's like peeling layers away. So I'll just use me as an example. The first layer to kind of come off was that job that was obviously not serving me and not making me happy. And then underneath that, it's kind of like what that job created within myself. So, all the emotional baggage, I guess you could say, from that job. So first it was peeling away the job. Then is it peeling away the emotional baggage. And once that is clear, I can evaluate, who I am. So we kind of had to get rid of all that stuff and all that junk before I could really look within and decide what makes me happy and what brings me joy. So I hope that kind of makes sense. But it's like we go through this life and we start collecting all these things and all this emotional baggage, and we just kind of have to take care of them one by one by one. Um, and then we can really decide, yeah, what makes us happy.
It's basically a process. It's not a one day thing, obviously, that it takes time, right?
Yeah,
So,
it definitely takes.
yeah, it's like you do it every day and you start to get better, you start to get better. Within a month, you feel a little lighter more, and then you get on with it. I guess, yeah, that makes sense. Um, I saw in one of your videos you were talking about chakras, that how you can locate your chakras. So can you please guide us a little in this so that people can get to know what chakras are and how you can
Yeah,
spend time with yourself?
yeah. So um, chakras are energy sources within the body. And so they're just swirling energy sources. We have seven main ones that most people, if you went to Google chakras, you would find these seven main chakras. And they sort of just help dictate certain emotions or patterns within our life. And it comes down to everything from finances to spirituality and everything in between. And when one of these chakra points or these wheels of energy is out of balance, and they become out of balance for various reasons. Like for me, with my job, that caused an imbalance in my chakra system, which led to feeling, the anxiety and the fear and all of that. So it's these everyday things, or it could be a relationship that really throws your heart chakra off, for example. But it's these everyday things that cause us to get unbalanced. And when we take time to refocus on these chakra points, it can give us huge relief, because once we sort of unblock them, or I like to say optimize them, when we optimize them for energy flow, then everything just gets a little bit easier. We don't have to carry around so much heaviness within us when we optimize them. I hope that makes sense.
It
'Cause
does. I
I know
mean,
the chakras are a big deep dive for people, but all we need to remember is that they are energy centers within our body,
yeah.
and we should be optimizing them for our balance and for our life.
I know the life's, really chaotic, and people, don't generally spend time with themselves. They seek validation, they just spend time in front of the TV, but they don't spend time with themselves. And that's something where the problem starts to begin. Uh,
Yeah,
there's another thing that people, believe that yoga is hard, practicing these things is hard. I need to have flexibility. I need to have a huge amount of time to start with it, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So how do you think about, do you really need flexibility to practice yoga? And do you really need a lot of time every day to practice yoga or meditation?
yeah. And it's all about baby steps, just like anything else that you're trying to learn or achieve in your life. When you were a child, you didn't just go from sitting down to running. You took the stage to crawl, and then you stood up, and then you walked, and eventually, soon enough, you're running. So it's just like that.
Hmm.
You can start meditating for even 1 minute a day. You don't need to sit down for a half an hour and think that's going to work, because that's not going to work for everyone's life.
Yeah.
Honestly, my meditations are usually 10 minutes,
Hmm.
but I've built up to that. So you can start with 1 minute and just continue to build, and you're still going to see good results,
Okay.
even with that 1 minute, or a couple minutes. I mean, five is ideal, but you have to work with what you work with. Yeah, you're going to see benefits from even just a couple minutes a day, because like you said, we just don't sit with ourselves
Yeah.
at all. We've become very
True that.
disconnected with ourselves, and when
Hmm.
that happens, it's all it's all downhill. We have to sit
I
with
know that.
ourselves and
So
get reacquainted.
So it's important to start with just 1 or 2 minutes a day, and then gradually build to 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Is it important to get to that level to start to connect with ourselves and start to align our soul?
Yeah, and I think it's just one of those cases that's going to be, everyone is different.
Okay.
A parent with a couple children might not have the opportunity to get 30 minutes a day. In that case, I say something is better than nothing.
Okay.
But let's say you start meditating for 5 minutes a day, you fall in love with it and you choose to expand your practice, then that's beautiful and that's great. But I am just coming from the space of, I know that doesn't work, with our go, go, go society. And
Yeah,
if we take any time at all to sit with ourselves, it's better than nothing.
mhm. So, how has it, totally transformed your life from what you were 3 or 4 years ago and what you are now? How do you feel different now?
Yeah, I I'm a different human, pretty much. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I like before it was just like I said, I just so much anxiety, so much fear, so much hurt, so much pain, and so much confusion on what I wanted to do and be in my life. And I even remember going this, at the worst of the worst, I had a complete breakdown, and I called the doctor and I was like,
Oh,
I need help. And he actually thought I was homeless because
okay.
I looked that bad. Like I wasn't taking care of myself. I was physically shaken up. And I
Really?
remember going back, a year later after I've done the yoga certification and the Reiki certification. And he said to me, he's like, you've changed. I can tell your energy has changed.
That's
Before it was like
amazing.
dead energy. And now you're vibrant. So night and day.
I know. I went through your page and so much positivity, so much, radiance of something like, there's something about your videos that, anyone who's watching would love to watch them. And you're doing these amazing lives every day, trying to spread the word, why it's important to do meditation. So, how do you think that everyone can be benefited, just like you've transformed your life? What others can learn through this journey if they go on it,
Yeah.
obviously?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that people are going to learn when they start a journey like this is one, that they can do it. It is achievable for everybody. They just have to figure out how it works in their life. But
Right.
beyond that, they are going to, like we've been saying, really start to get a connection with who you are, minus the external sources, minus outward validation. And the biggest thing too is just a little bit more balance and ease in their life, to just slow down, just to breathe. And truly, that's all meditation is. It's not fancy, it's not crazy, it's just sitting down and taking a few deep breaths.
Yeah.
But for the mind, it is hugely beneficial just to get quiet, just to quiet ourselves.
Now everyone's at home. I think they have ample amount of time to practice this thing, I guess.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Now's the perfect time to try. And we are really being forced to sit with ourselves. And so many people are, like you said before, they're just uncomfortable, like, not being around people, or not,
Yeah.
or just scrolling through Facebook all day because
Mhm.
they don't know what to do with themselves. And it's just not healthy.
I know that. We've been all there one day, and the person who
Oh,
starts his journey just completely transforms, just like you said that you were looking like a homeless person, and that's terrible because
yeah.
that's terrible because people don't really take care of themselves, and they have the answers, but they just don't want to follow the routine.
Yeah, I agree. We all have the answers within us. And and I understand, because it is a daunting task to start anything new, especially when we don't know anything about it.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like that's where the apps come in. That's where people like me come in, who can really show you and lead you. As someone who's done it before, and really transformed, you can do it. Um, you just have to be willing to get
Yeah, take the
slightly
first step.
outside of, take the first step. Like I said, it's a baby step. You don't have to take a leap. It can just
Yeah.
be one step or the other.
Yeah, just search the app, search the Facebook page that can help you, and you've certainly got an amazing page, Sundays Wellness. The name says it's all wellness. I mean, follow those pages, follow this app, start with a baby step, and start to transform your life. No one knows how long this pandemic is gonna go, and use this opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Use the opportunity that we've all been given. Um, yeah, like Yeah. That was fun. So,
You certainly also got some courses, that teaches yoga and leads a way of spiritual life, guides actually.
yeah, yeah. So I started one course in particular, and it's called the Spiritual Crash Course,
Okay.
cultivating spiritual practices made easy. And I literally break everything down into these baby steps because I don't want people to take too big of bites and then they kind of retract back because they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I even break down how to take a deep breath because I realize, you know, all the time yoga instructors and meditation teachers are like, take a deep breath. And in fact, we don't know how to do that.
Okay, yeah,
We're
true
like,
that.
"That's easy," but I don't know how. So I break everything down into tiny bite-sized steps. So no matter, your time allotment or how much you know or don't know about this, it's going to show you how you can build a spiritual practice that's meaningful and going to fit in your life.
True. So it's important that
Yeah.
you need to have someone who's always there to guide you, I think. That's what you really mean. Maybe. All right. So, anything that you would like to share, a 30-second message or 1 minute message in this pandemic, so that people can really get motivated to start this practice from tomorrow onwards?
Ooh, okay, that's a good one. So I think if I had to leave somebody with like one little tidbit, and I don't know if this is necessarily a motivational speech or not, but I think if you could do one thing for yourself every single day, it would just be simply to practice gratitude. And I know we've had that
That's good.
conversation before too, that when you hold the seed of gratitude within you, then your life just changes 100%. So wake up every day, say 3 things that you're grateful for, and that is going to start you in a whole new light. But if you are ready to take that dive into spiritual practices, I more than welcome you guys into come to my Facebook,
Yeah.
facebook.com/Sundaisy Wellness. I got everything there for you. There you will learn all the tools. And if you want to join my spiritual crash course, you can find that information there too. But be grateful for everything you have, and that'll change your life.
Yeah, I'll certainly be putting your, Facebook link in the description of this video. And yeah, the amazing, Dave, being grateful, that's so important because the world is going through a crazy time right now. And I believe that if you can be grateful right now for anything that you have, you are literally transforming your life.
Yeah, it's huge. And, people are, even if you got a roof over your head, if you got water to
Yeah.
drink, and then you're doing immensely better than
Yeah,
a lot of people.
I
There
know.
is plenty to be grateful for, even in this tough time. And it's really going to shift your mindset because people are stuck in the, well, I'm staying at home, my
Yeah,
job, this and that. So we're in this place of being ungrateful. So if you
yeah.
just shift that just a little bit, it's going to help people out.
Just change your perspective about anything that you have. You don't have your job because you're getting a break from your job. Maybe think in that way
Yeah.
and work on yourself, get better, learn some skill, learn some yoga, learn some meditation.
Well, yeah, and it's like you're getting a break from your job and you get to evaluate if that's the job you want to be doing. For some
True
people,
that.
yes, and that's great. And for other people like me, like a couple of years ago, no, it was not working.
Mm.
So now you get that opportunity to find out what you really like. So it's another good thing.
Amazing, amazing. It was amazing talking to you. I really appreciate your time, Tina. I'll be certainly putting the link of your page in the notes, and make sure, guys, that you check her page out. She's doing live every day. She's practicing yoga and talking about spiritual well-being, and she's talking about her courses as well. Make sure you check her page out, and that's it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
I hope you guys found this video useful, and for more inspirational and motivational content, make sure you check out my channel and subscribe to it. This situation has taught us that everything our lives used to revolve around is so temporary. Work, gyms, malls, movies has all gone for a toss as we are finally learning to live without them. It has taught us that it's our own home and family that keeps us safe. We finally learned the fact that